Okay, it says I'm live. Let's get ready for pinball, everybody. Let me just do this real quick. All right, so here's the map from this morning. Top of the shop, we stalled out there, then we broke through. Good afternoon, everybody. And a couple of things I want to talk about real quick before we play pinball. Kind of like a quick day in review. We'll get to this in a minute. Break down my strike. Okay. So what happened, just as a reminder, in the morning? There were customer short calls over here, 65.95, 64.95. Notice that this tail over here. So they were short, customer short, market maker long, resistance, quote unquote. And enough buyers came in that they got bought off. Now that customer long pulled us up. Customer long pulled us up. Same thing was at 6,500, I think. I think it was maybe 90 and 6,500 with 95 in between. I forget exactly where it was, but the tails show us. In the morning at around 10 o'clock or so, 65.05, 65.10 call credit spreads came in size, and 64.40, 64.35 put credit spreads came in size. Iron condor, setting the edges for the day. When I used to coach the kids, my kids' football team, the defensive ends' jobs was setting the edges. Nothing gets around the edges. And so these are the defensive ends. Nothing's supposed to get around the edges. But we sure are close, and we poked our way above the 65.05, a penny or two. And so what happens, as many of you know, oh, Richard's here. Hey, Richard. It's streaming on X. Yes, it's on X. It's supposed to be. I think so. Um, so we get that mean reverting again. Mean reverting is it goes up. When we go up, it pushes away. And when we go down, does this, it tracks it to it. So the analogy I thought of this time was a fire. So you're out of fire on a chilly night. If you get too close to the fire, you back away. But if you back away too much from the fire, then you're cold and you get attracted back to it. And so that's how this becomes sticky here. Same thing it would happen on the bottom, except we're so far away that doesn't matter anymore. So here's the battle zone right here. 65.05, 6,500. In theory, we shouldn't go through that. So if we trust the data and we believe the theory, which I kind of do, and we change this to gamma, we have a different picture. 6,500. These are customer long puts. The wise owl in our server. Hey, how's it going? I'm going to ask you for your pin again. The wise hour in our server pointed out intraday flow. I forget exactly 3 o'clock-ish, a little after, give or take. A big trade came in. This is gamma right now. It's like 3,000 or 5,000. A bunch of puts got bought here at 6,500. I think there was 6,500, 6,490 put debit spreads, but don't quote me. I think that's what these 90 shorts are. This was a trade. And since we know, and probably whoever bought 5,000 contracts knows, that we're not supposed to get through this, and then this becomes magnetic, we're looking at a pin either right above or right below 6,500, with 6,505 being sort of the max right below it. So what I did when I saw that, whoops, yeah, I gotta stop doing that. You can't see my account number anyway. I bought a fly. I'm not sure if it's going to be great. I can be impulsive. It's up $30. So 30% if I put down a bunch of it, was a real trade. So this is saying that we go, it cost me $1. So any close below 6405, 6504, and above 6500 is my golden zone. Below 6,500, if it's a few pennies below it, even $1 below it, I'm okay. Then maybe my break even, and I don't really look at the risk curve, I just do it in my head. Maybe my break even is sort of like 64.96 ish. If we go to 64.95 or lower, it's a loser. So I'm not sure that I would do that right now. Do I leave it to expire? I usually don't. I usually do something like this. Put in maybe three, no, put in $2 and arbitrary $2.15. Make $100 and I'll take it. And I do that. That's the way I do it. Okay, well, I already put that trade in before you got here, but that trade would still fit that thesis. Of course, you could do it on the call side. There's more than one way to skin a cat, obviously. You could do it on the call side like this. Well, you wouldn't want to do that. You'd want to do this to capture that, 85 cents. That's not horrible. That's really not horrible. Well, if you wanted to cheapy it, actually, this is better. Well, that's because you have this here. Well, if you want to be real, you want to throw some money at it, you do this if you have some conviction here. It doesn't matter. Each side is basically the same. The equivalent one would be on the call side would be this. That's expensive right now. At this point, the puts are back to about $1. That's probably the easier trade in terms of cost. Here you're buying the in the money at $5, and if we go end up at 6501, then this loses. You win if it's above your short strike, if it's above your long strike, below your short strike, or maybe a little above your short strike, but doesn't go through your top strike. So you're picking the range, and it can't go through the bottom of the range, or it has to be above the top of the range, and that's how you win. Oops. So let's go back over here. Let's This is gamma, so it's getting bigger as we're getting closer, but my screen is freezing. Wait a minute, you can't change. You can't take it back. You can't have it both ways. Now, now, how would a squeeze like that happen? I'm gonna put you on the spot for a second. So for a squeeze like that to happen, we have to get through the 6,500, obviously. And we have these on top, which might be enough gamma to pull you up there. I think that's a lower probability outcome. It's possible. I mean, once we get through 6,500 and that gets below us, and we have this above us, then this becomes the center of the new fly, 1015. So it is possible. So which one, the 10 or the 02? You should be a politician. Okay, okay. Which one? Column A or column B? A or B? And people type in there, okay, we're going with choice A. I know, I'm just teasing. This is fun. I mean, right now, 6,500. I mean, the main thing is below 6,505. That's the first order of thinking. Does this huge position here do its job? Now, you see, there's this little thing here. It could slip up here to '07. It could. It could. Let's look at depth view. I like to see just the raw numbers sometime, a lot of the time. Okay, so 6505, there were 20,000 there at one point. There was 19,000 there a while ago, and now there's 17,000. I don't think the people who put it on are closing them. I think people are buying those calls. We need to be below your, if it's a put, we need to be below your highest short strike, so '05. And here, notice, wow, look at that at 6,500. I don't know if you guys can see the number. Let me look at the screen. You might not be able to see that, so I'll read it to you. There's 9,702 long puts there, almost 10,000. So somebody is betting bigly on that. And right now, somebody's losing their big bet. Let's see. I threw my money in with them. That can become a tailwind. That could become the squeeze. Let's go to, come on, you can do it. Let's go to a different view. Market makers. Let's get, let's do this to make it a little easier. Let's do this to make it a little easier. Assuming that's the right price, which it looks like it is, 65.05. We're stuck in this. It's real hard to get over something this dark blue. I mean, it's value 8,000. That's a lot of contracts of E-mini that they're going to have to sell at the end, if nothing, at 355. Well, it's a percent of that. I forget. I think it's point 0.8 or something. That's still a lot of contracts. See, it's doing its job slowly. 64.40. It was stuck again. Let's take a look at this because this doesn't get stuck. So this is Periscope, unusual whales. Okay. Similar view. So wait, here we are. It says we're above the 65. Where does it say we are? It's hard for me to see price. 65.02, like we said. Okay. So the '05 is doing its job. Okay, this is the 90. No, they're wrong here. I'm sorry. You're wrong. Wow, she says. Maybe you got in cheap. So these are $2 now. Okay. It's really going to do, this needs to be at least $1 in the money, depending what you paid for it. Whatever you paid for it, that much in the money. This is sticking. Well, what you buy it for? Oh, it's filled at 60 cents, for about 30. Beautiful. No, that was perfect. That was perfect. Good job. You doubled your money, you call it a win, and you go home. Somebody's bleeding in. I think that's Dave C. My buddy Dave. No, you did great, Selena. That's exactly what you're supposed to do. I mean, now, if you would have hit the lotto, you could have gotten $400 or $500. But I got paper hands. If I can get a double on my money and call it a day, I'm happy. We don't gotta look at this stuff now. We don't need to look at that. Let's get back to a chart for a second. Is this right? Are we at 65.07? Looks like there's a slight delay, but see, right now that would be worthless. So, yes, you are. Good for you. That was good timing. You were patient. What just filled? Something gets filled. Wow. You know what? I'm going to give you credit for. I'm going to give you credit for that. I had this as my extreme target in the morning. I think this is just, whatever. This is crazy buying. Oh, wait, come on. Let's get back below the 65. Come on, people. But what I will do, there was another big trade that came in on SPX that we flagged in the room. This one seemed crazy at the time for a buck 35, 25, whatever, one DTE. So I'm gonna close that thing out right now. Opposite 400. I'll take the money. I'm gonna. I want to make sure I get filled. Give me $4. Thank you. Call me paper hands. That was a beautiful trade. Let's go back to options depth. 6505. Now these puts run the risk of decaying. It's still 10,000 there. Um, I have it in at a closing price, maybe in the last minute or two. If I can get out at a tiny profit, I might. Or I might just leave it expire and lose $100. We'll see. Right now, it's 81 cents. I paid about $100 at 90 cents, so I can get out of a $50 loss. I made a couple $100 on this, but I'm gonna let it ride out for at least another 2 minutes. We can get trapped over or under this. Remember, I pointed out that how we could kind of slip through there. Not what I want to happen, but it could. Charm. Can still make me a winner. Just go down $1. Like I said, in theory, we're not supposed to go over there. Well, we're not going to pin on the customer short deal or long strike, or I would say 90x% of the time. We don't pin on the '05. We pin, could be '04 '98. You know what I mean? We pin below this, and but we you can pin on this on the 6500. Generally, you don't because this decays. Oh, there we go. My put flag just got out at 215. Okay, there we go. I could have gotten full profit on that one too. Could have gotten 300-400 bucks, but that's okay. So when you ask me what do, I do what I just did. I know there's going to be enough wiggles around this number. Okay, pencils down. 6,200. That would have been about 300 bucks ish. 350, whatever. And I got whatever I got. I got two something. I don't care. How was your pin? Your pin was off by 10 cents, bro. 9 cents. Come on, you gotta do better than that. You gotta do better than that. 9 cents. Huh. I'm teasing. You do get a reward. You do get a reward. I have to figure out how to give you a badge. DM me on Twitter. That's pretty good. Check your DM on WHOP. Okay, I will. I will. I got you. That trade would have won or lost. Would have won. Your center, you sold those options. You sold those options at 6,500. And so they expire worthless or above it. The one that you bought at 65.05 is $4 in the money. So the one you bought would be worth $4. The ones you sold would be worthless. So you paid 60 cents and it would have been 60 would have been about 400 ish dollars, three something. Technically, it would have been, if you want to know exactly what it would have been, because I'm too lazy to do the arithmetic, 65.05 minus, whoops, minus 65.01.86, and you might always get the exact settlement. It would have been 314. The debit you, and then you paid a debit minus zero point 0.6, so it would have been 254 profit ish. Yes, that would have been the profit had you held it. So how do you figure it out? We'll just go with the put side for now. We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it in class, so to speak, and open mic another time. But let's just say for the put side, your long option minus the close price 0.86 is the value. As long as you didn't go through your short strike, which you didn't. We'll leave that out. We'll get that on another day. 314. So that's what that is worth. That long option is worth 314, but you paid zero point 0.6 for it, so that would be your profit. Or if you're comfortable enough with the zone, I rarely leave them on. Sometime uh, I usually don't leave them on. A lot of people do. I leave them on. I mean, for 60 cents, I probably would have left it on. For a buck, $100, I don't want to lose. $60, I don't mind losing for whatever reason. If it's less than $100, some kind of irrational mental thing. So now let's take a look at, obviously this was what I sold yesterday, 65 and 15 for today. Let's see what we got for tomorrow. And I see if there's something for us. Let's do a quick look here. Get rid of the markers for now. Specific. Hey, that's not great. 65, 50. Now, considering what's the expected move? Now we gotta go here. Expected move for tomorrow is 25. So 50 is kind of twice the expected move. So now we check the juice bar. Well, before we check the juice bar, we got time. Let's get a little more granular look. 65, you got some pretty good selling. 50, you got more. So I don't mind 45. So I can go further than that. Let's just say 25, 15. They're not paying me. The crooks. All right, I'll take 50 cents. Probably go 45 even. I'm not going to do it. I'll go a little further. I'll take 50 cents here. And on top, hate to be at 50 round number. Let's see. On top, this looks like this is part of, on top we had that fly right here. The one that I saw, it looks like he's still here. He bought the 20, he bought the 25, sold the 50, and bought the 75. That's what you're seeing here, that big ass fly. And he held it. That's good for him. So I want to be away from there if I can. No juice there. There's a big difference here. So I'm just going to sell 1 5 wide here instead. Instead of 10 wide. Let's get the 6 delta. I mean, really, you should be able to do, quote unquote, you should be able to do, except we have that big position there. But in theory, I might do one of these for science. So you can't get, I don't want to see, if you went just by delta, that would be a good trade. But I'm not going to go just by delta. I mean, you could do something like that. And somebody was asking me, NASDAQ 100, or I think it was asking me like X% of the expected move. The problem with that, I was talking about negative, positive, gamma. Okay, so the expected move, we'll call it 25. So we'll say 1.5 times the expected move would be 40 ish. So that would put us 65-ish, which happens to be okay because we have customer, we have market, we have all this supportive stuff here. But if, let's just say these two were red, if we flip the squares and customers were long options puts here, then that would not be as good of a setup. Below 50 still looks good. Below 65 looks decent. In this range, I mean, there's a lot of sold options here. It's going to be interesting to see the way this plays out. I mean, 50 is twice the expected move. PCE tomorrow, though, so you never know. I think, I'm not sure, but I'm going to go out on a limb because I don't mind going out on a limb and saying the risk might be to the downside. I think everybody has decided. I think if the PCE, I think the PCE would have to come in really hot to upset the apple cart. You see NASDAQ 100 if you're still there. This area is supportive but not great. Little, I mean, it looks like we should just kind of float in here tomorrow. So anyway, that's it. Thanks everybody. See you guys tomorrow. I'm going to try and get my timing a little better. Timing of getting my notes out. I've been kind of experimenting with different formats for notes. I put in some potential scalp trades. If then I'm trying to get the formatting right. So anyway, I'm gonna see if I can do better and get everything get started at 8:30. I mean, I'm up at 5. Say I was up late at 5 o'clock, but somehow things take longer than they seem. All right, take care, everybody.